Hey, what is up everybody? It's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today I will be explaining every Blood Demon art that has been introduced in the Demon Slayer story up to this point. Blood Demon arts, also known as Blood Demon techniques, are unique special powers and abilities that higher level demons possess. And when I first started watching the Demon Slayer anime, the Blood Demon arts, along with the unique breath styles of the Demon Slayers, were the two things that really grabbed my interest right away. Since I've already made a video explaining every known breath style, it only makes sense to also make a video talking about every Blood Demon art right here in one place for your convenience. I also want to give a special shout out to all of you who requested this specific video in the comments of our previous videos. I do read the comments and I do really appreciate all of your feedback and requests. Thank you. If you enjoyed the Demon Slayer content on this channel and you'd like to see more, you can leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, please don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Just before we get into it, a huge thank you to Saint Seiya Awakening, Knights of the Zodiac, for sponsoring this video. Saint Seiya Awakening is a strategy role-playing game with high-definition 3D graphics. It is an impressive anime mobile game which perfectly restores the classic Japanese franchise Saint Seiya. I grew up with the Saint Seiya, aka Knights of the Zodiac franchise, and I'm super excited that this game is officially licensed by the creator, Masami Kurumada, and I'm happy that this game restores the story of the classic manga. The 12 Golden Saints and all classic Saint Seiya characters are back in Sanctuary and waiting for your summon. Saint Seiya Awakening has incredible gameplay, exceptional graphics, and fantastic special effects, but that's not all. Saint Seiya Awakening features some of my favorite anime voice actors of all time, including Jun Fukuyama, the voice of Lelouch from Code Geass, and Yuki Kaji, the voice of Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. Dude, it does not get any better than this. Try it out for yourself right now. Click the link in the description to download Saint Seiya and jump into the epic anime action. The game is full of incredible skill combinations that you can use to gain crucial strategic advantages, and your victory really does depend on your strategy. You can play player versus player or player versus environment, and if you download the game right now, you will also be helping out this channel. Just click the link in the description. It's free for Android and iOS. Burn your cosmos, the classic is back. And finally, spoiler warning, in this video I will be talking about the powers of demons who have not yet been introduced in the anime, but I will only be talking about their blood demon arts. I will not be spoiling their backstories or what ultimately happens to them in the story, so you don't have to worry about me spoiling too much of the plot itself. With that said, use your own discretion. It is important to note that blood demon art powers vary greatly among the different demons, but they all involve some form of physical transformation or manipulation of the demon's body and or the demon's blood. The first blood demon art that we encounter is the swamp demon's ability to create a pocket dimension that is full of thick muddy water that is similar in texture to swamp water. This technique can appear as just a small puddle on the ground or some other surface, but it can then expand to trap the demon's target on the inside. The swamp demon has the ability to swim very quickly and effectively through the swamp pocket dimension that he creates. But others who enter the dimension find it very difficult to move, and they also find it impossible to breathe inside the swamp space. The swamp demon has a secondary ability which allows him to split himself into 3 different bodies. Each of the bodies wears different clothing and has either 1, 2, or 3 horns on its head. 2 of the 3 bodies remain intelligent, but one becomes an animalistic creature who, instead of speaking, is only capable of making the most annoying sound known to mankind. And no, Zenitsu's constant screaming and crying is not nearly as annoying. Zenitsu is best boy, and his cries are like ASMR to my ears. Next up, we have Lady Tamayo. She has a blood demon art referred to as blood bewitchment, and this power allows her to influence other people with the smell of her blood. The scent of her blood can produce hallucinations, it can force people to tell the truth, and it can even reduce their brain function. And she is able to use her own flesh and blood to produce seeds that sprout into large flesh trees with spiked branches that can pin and restrain even the most powerful opponents. We also have Yushiro, who has the ability to mask or reveal the presence of someone or something with the help of a paper talisman. He is also able to hide his own presence, which makes him practically invisible. According to Yushiro, his blood demon art is still incomplete, meaning that he may yet develop new powers and abilities sometime in the future. We'll have to wait and see. Now, let's talk about the Temari demon, Susamaru. Her ability is pretty simple. She can conjure up balls, which she then chucks at her opponents. But these are no ordinary balls. These balls have a lot of destructive power, and they can rip through a building and even smash through a demon's superpowered limbs. Susamaru is definitely the ultimate handball player, but her blood demon art definitely isn't one of the most powerful ones. I mean, they're balls. Next, let's talk about Yaiba, also known as the Arrow Demon. This mad lad has eyes on the palms of his hands, and using these eyes he can sense and track his targets, including their footprints. He can also launch arrows from his hands, and anyone who comes into contact with these arrows is forced to move in the direction that the arrow is pointing. Yaiba appears to be able to control the arrows even after launching them. Then we have the one and only Nezuko Kamado, the most adorable, deadly demon of them all. Nezuko's blood demon art allows her to set her own blood on fire, and she can use this fire either to burn demons to death, or to do less lethal things like burn the poison out of a human's body without actually killing the human. Nezuko is also able to combine her fiery blood with the unique powers and abilities of other characters, including her brother Tanjiro, and this teamwork leads to more complex and more effective attacks. I won't get into too many specifics because I don't want to get into spoiler territory, but if you are interested in learning more about Nezuko's unique demon powers, you can check out an entire video I made on Nezuko's power, link in the description. Now let's talk about Kyogai, also known as the Drum Demon. Kyogai is a member of the 12 Demon Moons, although he is lower moon 6, which means he is the weakest out of the 12 Demon Moons. Kyogai is able to rotate the rooms inside of his mansion by hitting the 2 drums on his shoulders to move the room left or right, or the 2 drums on his legs to move the room forward or backward. The drum on his chest allows him to launch a powerful claw attack at his opponent, and the drum on his back allows him to teleport into a different room within his mansion. By drumming faster, all of his abilities become even stronger and more effective. And now we've come to the creepiest family since the Zoldyx, the Demon Spider family. Let's start with the pretty boy of the group, which is definitely the father. I mean, this guy has the face of a K-pop star, and we all know it. The father's blood demon art is the ability to shed his skin, totally not gross, and transform into an even more powerful form. In this new form, he is stronger, more durable, and he is able to regenerate even faster than before. The mother of the spider family is able to attach spiderweb threads to her targets. The threads are spread by little white spiders that are controlled by the mother, and the threads may appear invisible at first unless you're paying really close attention because of how fine they are. Once the threads are attached, the mother can manipulate her target like a puppet, forcing the target to move and even fight others against their will. This technique can be used on both humans and demons, and it can even be used on corpses. The older sister of the family has the ability to trap her prey inside a webbed cocoon, which then dissolves the victim over time using some sort of acidic substance. The older brother of the family has the ability to transform humans into spider-like creatures by injecting them with a poisonous venom. If the transformation is successful, the target will become a spider-like monster without a will of their own, and they will simply follow the orders of the older brother spider. And finally, we have Rui, the powerful demon who established the spider demon family in the first place. Rui is actually a member of Muzan's 12 Demon Moons, and his rank is lower moon 5. This means that he is the second weakest demon moon out of the 12. He is also the most needy, spoiled sibling you will ever meet in your life. Rui has the ability to create spiderweb-like strings that can slice his targets into pieces. He can use these strings to create various forms of deadly attacks, including outright slicing his opponents, trapping them inside a deadly spiderweb cage, or creating a rotating wheel made up of threads that are capable of cutting through opponents with ease. Next up, let's talk about Lower Moon 1, Enmu, the 7th strongest demon moon and the strongest lower demon moon. Enmu has the ability to put his opponents to sleep and then enter their dreams. He can control and manipulate the dreams of his targets, and he can even kill them in their sleep if he is able to destroy their spiritual core within the dream, which in turn destroys their mind. Enmu can also allow other individuals to enter his opponent's dreams instead of him, and he can then rely on those other people to do his dirty work for him. Now let's talk about Daki. She is able to turn her body or parts of her body into a thin sash-like substance. Basically, imagine a thin sash made out of cloth. Daki can make her body take on the texture and appearance of such a sash or sashes. She can then move quickly through incredibly narrow spaces. She can slash her opponents with the sashes, and she can even detach parts of her from the main body and use these parts as sentient spies or guards, which allow her to keep an eye on things even when her main body is located somewhere else entirely. Then we have Gyutaro, another extremely powerful demon who attained the rank of Upper Moon 6. He has the ability to create scythes from his own flesh and blood, and Gyutaro has incredibly precise and deadly control of these weapons. The scythes have both long-range and short-range capabilities, as well as both offensive and defensive properties, which makes them very effective weapons. His scythes are extremely deadly. Not only are they sharp, but they are also coated in poison, which allows Gyutaro to strike a fatal blow to his opponents even when the cut itself would not be fatal. We also can't forget Kaigaku, another one of the Upper Moons. As a human, he was able to use the Breath of Thunder style, the same breath style that is used by Zenitsu. And as a demon, his abilities and attacks are strengthened further. However, because he has only been a demon for a short time, Kaigaku has not yet had a chance to develop all of his demonic powers, so we don't know any more specific details about his potential blood demon art. Next up is Gyoko, a water-themed demon who attained the rank of Upper Moon 5. His blood demon art gives him a wide variety of very useful and creepy abilities. He carries a bunch of pots wherever he goes, and he has the ability to instantly teleport from one pot to the other in order to avoid attack. He can also summon deadly fish demons and tentacles from these pots and unleash them upon his enemies. On top of that, he also possesses a powered up form which makes him even stronger as his body becomes covered in incredibly hard scales. These scales are said to be even harder than diamonds. Now let's talk about Hantengu, the Upper Moon 4. Hantengu's blood demon art allows him to split his body into several different forms, each guided by its own primary emotion. This includes Karaku or Joy, who uses a fan in the shape of a leaf to generate large gusts of wind strong enough to take down an entire building. We also have Aizetsu or Sorrow, who uses a long spear that can be extended or shrunk at will, and Urogi or Pleasure, who has large wings and bird-like talons. Urogi can use sonic sound waves to attack his opponents, and he can also create miniature clones of himself. There is also Hantengu or Fear, a smaller version of the original Hantengu, but with increased durability. Urami or Resentment, a larger and stronger version of Hantengu with armor-like defensive power, and Sekido or Anger, who can generate lightning-based attacks using his staff. Sekido is also able to absorb other clones in order to create a more powerful version of himself called Zou Hakuten, or Hatred, so he's kind of a demon Voltron. Then we have Nakime, another Upper Moon who is close to Muzan. She uses the Japanese traditional instrument known as a biwa to manipulate and control the dimensional infinity fortress that Muzan uses as a gathering place for the demon moons. She is able to summon anyone she wishes into the fortress, and she can also manipulate the building itself, shifting its position and creating doorways wherever she wishes. In addition, Nakime has the ability to detach eyeballs from her body and use them to effectively spy on her targets from a great distance. Next up, we have Akaza, the Upper Moon 3 demon and my brother Gozen's favorite Upper Moon. As a human, Akaza was a martial artist who used a bare-handed fighting style, and as a demon, his blood demon art essentially turns him into a superhuman martial artist. He uses powerful physical attacks, mostly punches and kicks, which create massive shockwaves. And he has the ability to sense his opponent's bloodlust and detect where his opponent's attacks are coming from. Now let's talk about Doma, also known as Upper Moon 2. His blood demon art basically allows him to create various ice-based attacks, such as razor-sharp wind gusts, freezing ice clouds, ice lotuses, ice spears, and even small ice clones of himself that can fight his opponents for him. His most powerful attack allows him to create a massive ice statue that uses ice-based attacks to assault his targets. And now we get to the strongest Upper Moon 1, Kokushibo. This demon is capable of using his own unique breath style called Breath of the Moon, but he does also have other demonic abilities. His blood demon art allows him to separate a part of his own flesh from his body and turn it into a sword. This sword is covered with demonic eyes, and Kokushibo frequently uses it in battle. The eyes on the sword increase the range of his vision, and because the sword is made of his own demonic flesh, Kokushibo can change the shape and size of the blade, and in case the blade is damaged, he can easily repair it since a demon's flesh can quickly regenerate. This demon is a master swordsman, and his power is equivalent to the power of multiple Hashiras put together. Believe it or not, there is also a human who is not a demon, but who seems to be developing his own form of a blood demon art. Genya Shinezugawa, the brother of the Wind Hashira Sanemi, has a unique ability which allows him to temporarily gain demonic powers after consuming the flesh of a demon, even though he himself remains human. So he is basically the Hawk of Demon Slayer. When he absorbs parts of a really strong demon like an upper moon, Genya begins manifesting some of their powers and characteristics, which of course makes him much stronger than usual. He can regenerate quickly just like a demon, he has increased strength and durability, and he can even develop something akin to a blood demon art. For example, after absorbing components of 2 different upper moons, Genya is able to control the bullets that he shoots from his gun in supernatural ways. And he is able to transform the bullets into tree branches once they are lodged inside his intended target, which drastically constricts the target's ability to move. We will have to wait and see how Genya's powers develop further, and whether any of his powers will actually become permanent. He is just such an outlier in the series when it comes to power that it is very hard to pin down his power and its true nature. And finally, we have Muzan Kibutsuji, the original demon and the progenitor of all the other demons. Muzan has many unique powers and abilities, and I would need an entire video to talk about them all, but for this video it is enough to mention that he possesses a blood demon art that allows him to manipulate his blood and flesh in many useful and deadly ways. Not only can he turn humans into demons by making them ingest his blood, but he can also shapeshift, use certain forms of telepathy, absorb other beings into himself, and create deadly objects out of his flesh, such as spiked barbed wire. He also has an impeccable fashion sense, and he has been compared to a young Michael Jackson. And those are all the blood demon arts that have been introduced so far, unless I missed some, in which case please do let me know down in the comments. By the way, which of these blood demon arts is your personal favorite? And if you could create your own blood demon art for yourself, what would it be? Let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like it, please leave a like to let me know. And if you happen to be new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Seriously, if you want to get notified on YouTube, you have to hit the bell and turn on all notifications, otherwise YouTube will bury our videos. It's just how it works. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at AnimeUproar for all the latest Demon Slayer news and updates. Once again, a big thank you to Saint Seiya Awakening Knights of the Zodiac for generously sponsoring this video. What I love about this game is that it doesn't pretend to be an anime-esque game. This is a genuine anime game based on a classic anime and manga franchise. It features epic J-pop and J-rock music that will keep you pumped up while you play. And as I said before, it boasts some of my favorite anime voice actors, including the Japanese voice of Lelouch and the Japanese voice of Eren Yeager. As a massive anime fan, it really doesn't get much better than that for me, especially since we're talking about a game with amazing graphics, incredible moves, and gripping strategic elements that is nevertheless free to download on Android and iOS. Whether you're a fan of Saint Seiya or new to the franchise, this game will keep you entertained and immersed in the fantastical world of Saint Seiya. Try it out for yourself right now. Just click the link in the description to download Saint Seiya Awakening and jump into the anime action and strategy. I'm a big fan of strategy games myself, and the skill combinations in this game are absolutely gripping, and once you realize how the game mechanics work, you will see that good strategy is the key to winning this game. You can play player versus player or player versus environment, and if you download the game right now, you will also be helping out this channel. Just click the link in the description. Like I said, it's free for Android and iOS. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.